Today is the first day of December, and I will start with the true story series, Pocahontas. It's a real story. Chapter 1, The Sail Ship. Is this a true story? Yes, this is a true story. The Indian princess Pocahontas was born near Jamestown in 1595. Captain John Smith wrote many of the events of this story in his books. Some details were added and other details were forgotten. But the story you will read in this book really happened. This is a true story of Pocahontas. This picture is of Pocahontas in London, 1616. This is a map of the Virginia colony and the settlement of Jamestown on the James River. This picture is John Smith gives a crown to Pocahontas in 19th century painting. John Smith and the colonists wanted to keep peaceful relations with Pocahontas' father, Chief Powhatan. Chief Powhatan's other name was Chief Pocahontas. The first King James sent a present to the chief. John Smith gave a chief a beautiful crown and proclaimed him king of the Powhatan Empire. However, Chief Pocahontas did not know that the Powhatan Empire remained under King James. Some picture about the vocabulary in this story. Now let's start with chapter 1, The Sailing Ship. May was a beautiful month in the land of the Algonquian Indians. There were tall trees and colorful flowers everywhere. The sky and the sea were deep blue. Pocahontas was a favorite daughter of Chief Powhatan. She was an Indian princess. Chief Powhatan was a powerful chief of the Algonquian tribe. Pocahontas was 11 years old. She was a lovely young girl with black hair and dark eyes. She wore a buckskin dress and moccasins. He had a feather in her hair. Pocahontas was always happy. She ran in the forest and danced in the fields. She sat on the hill and looked at the blue sea. On May 6, 1607, Pocahontas sat on the hill and she saw something strange in the bay. It was a big sailing ship. She was very surprised. The sailing ship was something new. It had big white sails and flags. She looked at it for a long time. Where did he come from? Why was it there? She was very excited. Pocahontas ran to her village to tell her father and brother the news. Father, father, she said, there's a big sailing ship in the bay. It has white sails and colored flags. Her father's Chief Powhatan was outside his long house. He was a tall man with long black hair. He wore the feather of an Indian chief on his head. He listened to the news, but he was not happy. "The white men are here," Powhatan said sadly. "This is bad news for our people. There is no peace with the white men here." Nantaquas were Pocahontas' brothers. He was 18 years old. He was a strong Indian warrior. He looked at his sister and said, "In the past, the white people killed the Indians. They want to take our land." "Oh, Nantaquas, let's go to see white people. Let's go to see their big ship," said Pocahontas. "You can go to see them, but don't go near the ship. Stay far away. Be careful," said Powhatan. "Remember, Pocahontas, white men are dangerous." Nantaquas and Pocahontas went to the river. There were many canoes near the river. They got into the small canoe. Then Nantaquas paddled down the river to the bay. In the bay, they saw a big sailor ship. There were a tall, white man on the ship. He smiled at them. There were other white men too. They all looked at the small canoe and at the two Indians. Pocahontas smiled at the white man. "Let's go to the ship," she said. "No," said Nantaquas. "It's dangerous. We don't know who these white men are. We can look and then go home. We must obey our father." The white man on the ship smiled again. "Look, Nantaquas," said Pocahontas. "That man has red hair and white skin. She's smiling at us. Look at his clothes. They are strange." Nantaquas turned the corner and paddled up the river. When they arrived home, Nantaquas said, "I saw a big sailor ship. There were many white men on the ship." Powhatan talked to his medicine man and tribe advisor. They all sat inside the longhouse for a long time. He said, "White men bring us problems. They have a strange magic. They carry thunder sticks to kill our people. They want to take our land, our lakes, our rivers, and our forests. They can stay for a short time, but they cannot stay here forever. Let's watch them and see what they do." Paddlers move a canoe with a paddle. Tribe advisor. "Oh, Indians who know many things." Thunder stick. Indian expression for rift. Musket. It's continued chapter 2. Pocahontas meet John Smith. Captain John Smith and his men were happy to in Chesapeake Bay. They wanted to establish a small settlement there. Captain Smith called the big river the James River. After the first King James of Britain, on May 13, 67, he established the small settlement called Jamestown. Jamestown was on the James River. In Jamestown, the settler built some hut, a storehouse, and a church. There were about 100 men in Jamestown in 1607. Most of them were English gentlemen. They came to the New World to the fire gold and riches. They did not want to be farmers. John Smith was angry with them. He said, "You must all plant crops, hunt, and fish. You must not be lazy." In Jamestown, there was little food. One day, Captain Smith and his men went into the forest to look for food. They walked for a long time. Then they met a big group of Indians. The Indians attacked them with their bows and arrows. They killed one of Smith's men. John Smith and his men killed 2 Indians. Then the Indians captured John Smith and took him away. After a long walk, John Smith stood in front of the chief Powhatan and his tribe. Everyone was silent. Pocahontas stood there next to her father. She looked at John Smith. She was very tall. She looked at his red hair, his blue eyes, and his white skin. He was very different from the Indian man. John Smith spoke to the Indians in sign language and a few Indian words. "Great Chief, I am a friend, my man, and I want to live in peace with you." Powhatan and his medicine man did not like him. John Smith gave a compass to the great chief. Compass is the needle show north. Powhatan looked at it. He turned it around in his hand. Why did the needle always point in the same direction? He tried to touch the needle, but a piece of ice was in front of it. This ice wasn't cold. It didn't melt. Powhatan thought it was magic. All the Indians of tribe looked at the compass. They were surprised at the white man's magic. Pocahontas liked John Smith and his magic, but her father didn't like him. That afternoon, John Smith and his men killed 2 Indians. Chief Powhatan and his tribe were very angry. Now John Smith must die. 2 Indian warriors pushed Captain Smith to the ground. They put his head on a very big stone. Then the Indians picked up another big stone. They wanted to kill John Smith. When Pocahontas saw this, she said, "No, father, please don't kill him. He isn't a bad man." Powhatan said, "No, he and his men killed 2 Indians. He must die." The 2 Indians were ready to kill Captain Smith. One Indian raised his hand. "No," said Pocahontas. She jumped forward and put her head above Captain Smith's head. "Please, father, he must not die. Save him," said Pocahontas. Powhatan looked at his favorite daughter. He immediately told the 2 Indians to stop. Everyone was surprised at Pocahontas' courage. Pocahontas saved John Smith's life. After this, Pocahontas and John Smith became great friends. John Smith taught her English, and he taught him the Indian language. He gave her beautiful beads and trinkets. He told her about London and each animal's building. Pocahontas listened to Smith's stories. The King of England is called the first King James. He lives in a beautiful place in London, said John Smith. Is he your chief? Asked Pocahontas. Yes, he's our leader, said John Smith. What do the English ladies wear? Asked Pocahontas. They wear long, colorful dresses, shoes, and hats. They also wear jewels. Are the English ladies beautiful? Pocahontas asked. Some are beautiful and some aren't, said John Smith. Pocahontas laughed and listened. She dreamed about London. Thanks for listening.